What's going on, people? It's your boy Woozle, and I'm back with another video yet again today. Now, in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about 2K and the current state of it, and maybe what has went wrong, as well as any other type of issues. In short, this is going to be called the state of 2K. Now, what can be said about 2K that has been said in regards to 2K, if we're being honest? I mean, well, we could take a different approach that I'm actually in favor of instead of the conventional, fuck Ronnie and fuck 2K approach. Granted, while we probably have all said this multiple times already, it's like beating a dead horse at this point. So let's take the more professional and more introspective and intellectual approach that, does not have me shouting a bunch of swear words and saying nigga over and over again. You dig what I'm saying? So while writing this, I had to look into what draws people into the game and what went wrong. That's right, I wrote an entire script for this, folks. Well, as we know it, 2K has the basketball simulation world in a chokehold, like how Captain Marvel did Thanos in Endgame. But it wasn't always like this. I mean, at one point in the long ago, as South Park would put it, if you know, you know, there was avenues that existed at one point where people could go get their basketball fix. The biggest takeaway from this is the ability to choose what game you wanted. And as we all know, that choice is more or less gone. I mean, we have NBA Live, which is a former shell of what it used to be. And then there's NBA Playgrounds, but there's enough content in the initial portal launch of the very first one. And on top of that, 2K acquiring the second one, while it might be a good game, really did kind of doom it more or less. So we don't really have too many choices. We just have NBA 2K20 or no 2K or no basketball game at all. And for my basketball heads out there, y'all feel this a lot. Like, I probably have played 2K 2 times in total. And I'm counting this as me like just booting up my PlayStation just to play 2K. That's 2 times in about 4 months. And before that, I think the last time I played it was like in February. We're now in May. Just give y'all a perspective or like a good reference about how long it's been since I played the game. I can go without playing 2K. I will be fine. I got my favorite content creators that I could watch, from the homie D-Man, IKC, my boy Trey, who's actually doing real good right now. So just y'all show him some love and follow him after this video if you ain't already. You dig what I'm saying? Shakedown, you know what I'm saying? Agent, like my nigga Phantom, when he actually did get in this 2K bag at one point, but he's doing other stuff now, and I support him with that. But I got my 2K content creators I could watch and enjoy. You dig? That I could just watch and enjoy their content. And while it might make me want to play the game, I can go without it because I know the headache that comes with playing this game. I mean, we could talk about the animations and everything that I don't like all day, and I'm pretty sure I covered that in my review already. But y'all get the picture. I can go without playing it. But for those of you who are like really diehard basketball fans, this is like probably your favorite game to play. And if you don't have the ability to play your favorite sports simulator in some way, shape, or form, you're gonna go nuts. And that's not okay, because with 2K being, having the monopoly it does, you dig, it doesn't inspire no innovation, no actual creation, or no like improvements. It's just more so copy and paste. Because we could be honest, 2K20 was more of a copy and paste as far as the aesthetics go. While they did add some things to the game that we did like, they did have a bunch of stuff and a lot of things that we just flat out did not like and should not have been in the game. But I digress. 2K is the only complete viable option for a basketball fix. There's the problem. This is where the problem lies. You see, 2K on this generation went from great to okay to completely arrogant and unplayable in some regards. Y'all could talk about that in the comment section below about the things that you see and don't like. You dig? We could focus on, but before we get on to 2K as a whole, let's just go ahead and focus on 2K20. A game where we were told so many things, from resculpt our build, different neighborhood, better animations and gameplay, all of which are complete lies. The only thing the game had going for it was the badge progression, which was actually new and refreshing, but they left out details and made it more difficult to earn badge points via a patch. Because if you remember, at one point it was pretty easy to get your badges. Like, it was rather simple just to get them badge upgrades and get it out the way. So, you know, you could be a demon or an actual threat on the park, on the rec, in Pro-Am, whatever it may be. I mean, hell, if you remember, 3v3 Pro-Am was the best way to rep up. Then they patched that and made it more difficult. Like, well, let's remember these things that 2K did over the course of the life cycle to make it more of a grind for no reason. The grind to Legend was already tedious enough. They could have just left it as is and just patched the game to make it more fun and playable. But again, I digress. Because, I mean, the badge progression in this was probably my favorite thing about the game. The ability to just resculpt my build. I mean, not resculpt, but to choose what badges I want to have as far as what my build would allow me to have, and allocate those points to how I see fit. That was like the most dopest thing, in my opinion, or one of the most dopest things. I might be missing something that 2K has actually added in this game. I mean, I gotta give credit where credit's due. The ability to choose what badges I want to use was a really smart idea, and I hope that they do put it in 2K21. But let's go ahead and continue on with this. I mean, 2K has a tendency to patch anything that helps and or rewards players, but refuse to patch or acknowledge the issues with the game that are detrimental to the player's experience in totality. What do I mean by this? 2K will notice people have fun, have a certain animation that is good, and maybe not completely broken, you dig? Maybe not completely entirely broken, but you know, it is better than other ones. And they just decided to patch it and then swear up and down they didn't touch it too much. You feel what I'm saying? Or say, for instance, you know, with the 3v3 Pro-Am thing, right? That's the best way to get your rep up. That's the best way to get your badge points. You know, your player progression, everything is playing 3v3 Pro-Am, so people grow to gravitate towards 3v3 Pro-Am, which is a more competitive game mode, might I add. And you know, just play the game there and get their rep up, and then maybe go to the park once they have their player maxed out and all that good stuff. 2K immediately patches that because they see that, oh wait, they're not, you know, playing enough my career, or they're not doing this, that, and the third. They're having fun, essentially. They're doing something that we did not design the game or develop the game to be, more or less, from their perspective. So let's go ahead and patch that and get that out the way. But, oh, hey, a demigod glitch? No, we ain't gonna touch that too much. An invisible glitch? No, we could wait. A pushing glitch? We ain't gonna talk about that. You dig what I'm saying? The ability to not pass the ball in on checkup? We ain't gonna touch that. You dig? You know, animations that literally you can call them out as they're happening, like the behind, like when the defender is behind you when you go for a layup or a dunk, and your player does that weird like little hitch, but you know it's gonna go in every time. That little thing, or if you're on defense, how you know it's gonna go in every time. The fact that your player will purposely slow down if a defender is behind you, so you just somehow get your shot blocked, or you just don't take the dunk. The fact that you don't dunk as a 7-footer, even if your character is not a dunking character. If you are 7 feet tall, you should be able just to get normal rim grazing dunks on a more or less consistent basis if nobody is around you, or if a player is laughably shorter than you. Like if I'm 7'2" and the player who's guarding me is 6'3", 6'2", that's a body bag. Anywhere, any time of the day, whatever it may be, you dig? But they don't patch that. Instead, they'll patch all things that make the game fun. Or, my favorite thing is, and I get it, 2K is a business, they want to make money, right? But say that there's a VC glitch or a fast, easy way to get VC. They will patch that with the quickness, because they like, no, you can't get VC unless we give it to you, or unless you buy it. Because if you're not buying VC, which is what 2K wants you to do, they're going to try to make the VC as stingy as possible, that way you're more enticed to buy it. And I'm not gonna lie, a majority of us, me, and a lot of people in the 2K community, you dig, buy VC day one, because we just want to max our players out, just get it out the way. That way, if we have to do a bad grind like we did this year, it won't be as bad and or as annoying. We just get it out the way. But that's because 2K made it that way. Because, I mean, if we're being honest, if they had it that way, you just, you know, play the game, you get a fair amount of VC based on your actual performance, especially if you're playing towards your archetype. So if I'm a playmaker and I'm getting assists, I'm making plays, I'm locking my guy up. Maybe I'm not getting the steal, but I'm forcing him to pick the ball up, or I'm doing good contests. I should be rewarded for my well played possessions, both on offense and defense. I shouldn't be, punished or not receive a reward for good play. Because all hoopers, all athletes of all shapes and sizes, hell, gamers as a total, we want to be rewarded for our good play or when we're, handling business. You dig what I'm saying? If we putting hours into this game and we're playing against some of the most, aids of players and lineups, then we should get rewarded for busting their ass or playing to our builds and doing what we got to do. That's what it should be, but it's not that, which is really sad when you really think about it. To give y'all, more, I guess, analysis on this for those of you who might be a casual who are watching this, right? So if you don't know what a demigod is, it's a big ass player who can literally do anything with no consequences. And this can go weeks and sometimes months without being punished. And the demigod literally has like the handles of AI, the jump shot ability of a KD, or the height of a KD with the jump shot ability of like a fucking KD, the speed of a Russell Westbrook, the dunking ability of a Stoudemire, all that good stuff. You feel what I'm saying? That can go weeks and months without being punished. But there's a VC glitch in the game. They get it up out of there with quickness and punish those who did it. All the while, players who have exploited the game, nothing happens to them. And if it does, it's so rare, it's an anomaly to see it happen. I mean, people make whole videos like, yo, people are actually getting banned. And then the sad part is, 2K has a bad habit and bad record of banning those who weren't even doing the glitch. Like, say if you weren't doing the VC glitch, like you were actually grinding it like legitimately, 2K has had a history of just banning people. Like, they just ban anybody. Oh yeah, of like 200,000 VC. Oh, we don't see no transaction records. Oh no, you must have been cheating, even though you put about 100 plus hours into the game. Like, it's ridiculous. But motherfuckers who are obviously cheating, obviously exploiting the game, whether VC or not, and VC to me is not that big of a deal, but for the sake of argument, VC and all type of other glitches, they take forever to get them to fuck about the paint. My biggest thing is just the glitches. But just for sake of argument, VC, whatever. But I mean, VC glitches aren't that big of a deal because it's not breaking the game. Because if anybody get, they money up and build their player up, it's a fair playing field. But if there's a secret way or a complicated way to have a demigod, and honestly, being a demigod is just not that much fun, if we're being honest. It's showing that you have a lack of skill, that you don't want to play the game right, that you ain't confident in your stick ability to actually break somebody off with a normal player. You're actually soft and weak, and you're probably the lowest common denominator of players, if we're being honest, on this 2K thing. But let's continue. The lack of competition and demand for a better product is what got this game to this point. For instance, regardless of what 2K stands think, because of NBA Live 18, 19 initial showing, like that whole thing, is what made 2K19 a decent and rather good game. The community killed that game, in my opinion, if we're being honest. They killed that game. But at the start, 2K19 was not that bad of a game. It was actually pretty fun. I mean, but with 2K20, it was a little copy and paste. But they made it worse. The servers didn't get any better. If we're being honest, I got kicked. Everybody has tales of them getting kicked out of games, mid-game, before the game started, after the game, everything. I mean, you're going to see some clips here and there, because I got all my 2K videos on a loop right now. So you're going to see just me getting kicked out of games. And some of these videos or whatever were me, K-Dog, and Rambo were like on a 4 to 5 game win streak, going on like higher, and I would just get kicked, or all three of us would just get kicked randomly. But the VC prices were awful. Animations were predictable, and animations the community gravitated towards and liked got patched into oblivion. Granted, the behind the back, around screen thing deserved to get patched. That thing deserved to get patched. There's no reason for you to create that much space, because there was nothing that a defender could do. Even if we're reading it, we didn't get rewarded for reading it. You would just somehow just get around us. So they could have just patched it and made it that way. If you're reading it, you could have got bumped, or you would just stop. Your momentum would just be halted. Something of that sort literally could have happened, but it didn't happen, which is frustrating and infuriating. You feel me? Certain animations that everybody has access to, you just got to figure out how to string them together, should not be patched. It should just be fair game. I mean, if there's a certain combo that's good and somebody finds another combo that's good, so be it. If you find your own type of niche that you like, cool. Like, to me, like, the biggest thing is just that whole hezzy behind the back was just broken in AIDS. I did not like that at all. And I did it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody else was doing it. I had to get down with that too. I wish I did it a whole lot sooner, but I had more wins. But I was trying to be wholesome. 2K makes you not play wholesome. I'm just gonna let y'all know this. Excuse me. With the recent patch, 2K made it that way. Most builds can do what they were supposed to do day one, which is nice. But we are in May now. We're in May. Basically at the end of this 2K's life cycle. The newest 2K is dropping in about 5 months, depending on if this virus will impact the release, which it may or may not. You never know with the whole physical copy. I mean, the whole COVID-19 thing is, I'm not going to say disappearing because it really hasn't. It's still an entire thing. But you never know. They might delay it. They might make it a whole digital thing. We don't know what they might do. I doubt it's going to be, they're not going to have physical copies. I highly doubt that is going to be a reality. You just never know. I mean, they released the game in September almost every year for like the past, I want to say 9 to 10 years at this point. So it would come as no surprise today to stick to what their initial release date is, because hopefully by that time everything will kind of plateau and we'll get a good grip on things. I think that until the community demands better and actually demand it by showing that they want better, you know, vote with your wallets, that whole nine, not caving in, all this other good stuff, until that, nothing's going to change, if we're being completely honest here. I mean, look at it like this, right? Look what happened at 2K18, right? Everyone hated that game. I've never seen a 2K game that everybody can gradually say all together that this game was ass, that this game was just trash and it did not deserve to be put out by any means, which was shocking, right? Because, I mean, I gave that game away in, like, November. Damn, I think November, December. I gave that game away early as hell to my homegirl, Adriana. Like, that game is out of here. That game was out of there with the quickness. I didn't play 2K18 no more. I actually went back to playing 2K17, which is crazy. That's how bad that game was. Everybody hated that game. The biggest YouTubers weren't playing it. Everybody went to Fortnite. That's when Fortnite got popping. It was around 2K18, right? So everybody went to Fortnite, COD, GTA, and Live, which is hilarious. Even people started playing NBA Live again, which is crazy. Which brought us 2K19, which was probably one of the better 2Ks on this generation, if we're being honest. I mean, maybe next to, I don't know if you would count 14, but, you know, 2K19 is definitely up there as far as, you know, just overall content creation and just gameplay wise. It was actually a really good game. If we're being honest, just the community killed it, in my opinion. Just all the complaining for no reason. Just a couple things need to get worked on, but, you know, we're going to complain about everything until lockdowns are the most broken build in the game. Or the most, you know, reliable build in the game, I should say. I mean, sure, investors have a huge say in how they move, saying as how they have big money in the company, right? But if people aren't buying the game because our voices aren't heard, they'll take notice. Not because they care about us. I mean, let's be realistic. They care about that bread. They care about the money, the bottom line, the whole nine. They don't really care about us as people and as individuals or as gamers. They care about that money. They care about the money that's in our wallets. They care about that. Because if 2K is not doing good as far as sales go, and we are showing and proving by actions and deeds, not words and lip service, that we want a better game, if we actually show that, they gonna take notice. While it might not be the perfect game that we all want, it's gonna be something better than what we would normally get. 2K18, 2K19, the best example I could give you. It's like one of the best examples I can give you. 18 and 19 was like night and day on which game was better. Even when 19 got to its lowest point or where it is now, still better than 18. And it's not even a competition. But I mean, they'll take notice. So if we're not spending our money until we get a game worth buying, essentially, things will actually change. I mean, there's a history of it in games from consoles to the games we play on them. In my opinion, this is just a thought. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. It's your boy Woozilla. Make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe. I shouldn't tell y'all this. You know already. Tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. We out. Peace.